Welcome back. Well, here's something that's no surprise to me. Single life is on the rise across Canada, with the marriage rate decreasing and the percentage of Canadians who have never been married increasing over the last few decades.
Our next guest is also not surprised. She's considered the leading expert on single life, and she's here to tell us all about her new book, Single at Heart, The Power, Freedom, and Heart-Filling Joy of Single Life. Please welcome Bella DePaulo to the show.
An honor to have you here. I read through this book. I loved every single page of this book. So many times I was reading going, yes, this. You really hit it on the head. So congratulations on the book. But what does it mean to you to be single at heart?
First of all, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me. People who are single at heart, and I'm one of them, love being single, and we want to stay single. We are happy and flourishing because we are single, not in spite of it.
Can you say that again for the people in the back, please, Bella?
Yes.
It's like they don't believe you when you say that.
They don't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And one of the reasons I wrote the book, say, look, this is real. Single life is our best life, our most joyful, fulfilling, and meaningful life.
Gosh.
Well, in the book, you write about how married people enjoy a special kind of status in some places around the world. So what does that look like?
Oh
though?
my gosh, it starts even before you're married, when, you know, you're a single person meets someone and everybody's all excited, oh, tell me all about them. And then if they commit to them, they get the engagement presents and the wedding presents, and maybe they have a destination wedding and people come from all over. And then it just continues from there. So in everyday life, they get all the couples discounts. You know how that goes. So a couple pays $100, that's $50 per person. Single person pays $60. I'm subsidizing married couples. Why am I subsidizing married couples?
Such a good question.
And then there are even bigger things, like in the United States and other countries, married people get hundreds of benefits and protections just because they're married. And they don't have to be a good couple. You know, they could be mean, they could be somebody who strays all the time, and yet they get the benefits. And I, no matter how virtuous I may be, I don't get any of them.
Such a good point. And despite all the rewards that come with being married, you were always drawn to single life. So tell me, what were the benefits of flying solo for you?
Yes, okay, so a big one is the freedom. So we get to create lives that are most meaningful for us, and we get to follow our hearts. And that means being the decider. So we get to decide everything from the everyday life choices, the little things like what we eat, when we sleep, what temperature we keep the house at, whether the toilet seat is up or down, to things like financial freedom. We get to decide what to spend our money on with nobody giving us the stink eye. And we get to save as much as we want. And the big things like leaving a job that you trained for to do something more meaningful, or moving clear across the country, which is something I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we also have our people. So we get to tend to and be there for as many people as we want without having some partner at home who thinks that time belongs to them.
Right. The time belongs precisely to you.
Yeah, you know, people who are married think they have the one, which they do, but we who are single have the ones.
Oh, I love
Do you see why I love this book so much? It was a page turn. It was so good.
There is also this idea that single, you must be lonely, you must be lonely. But when you have pockets full of ones, you're not.
Yes, and that's another thing. The single at heart love having time to themselves. It doesn't scare them. And that ends up being another benefit, because if you are comfortable on your own, then you're not going to be lonely. And it shatters the stereotype. It's just like, you know, people think, oh, single person, you don't have anyone, you're all alone. Well, it's the opposite. We have the ones, and we're not lonely because we're comfortable on our own.
And there's a lot of research that backs up everything that you write about in the book. Can you share some of that?
Sure. There's this 10-year study of 17,000 people, and it shows that people who are single at heart, who embrace their single lives and aren't looking for a partner, they get happier and happier. And And over time, that just gets better. Another thing is, and this one is based on 250,000 people from 32 nations.
Wow.
And it shows that single people socialize more, not even just the single at heart, but in general, single people socialize more, and they get more happiness out of their socializing. So married people can socialize, and they get some happiness out of it, but we get more.
Yeah.
Another study followed 6,000 single people for 9 years, and what they found was that the single people who were not looking for a romantic partner, such as the single at heart, they valued their friends more. And the more they valued their friends, the happier they were with their single life. And the happier they were with their single lives, the more they valued their friends. So there's this virtuous circle of friendship and happiness.
Oh my God.
And then there's sex. So people who are not looking for a romantic partner are actually more sexually satisfied than people who wish they had a romantic partner. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're getting more sex, but what it might mean is they're getting something better than that. They're getting the amount of sex that they want, whether that's a lot, a little, or none at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and no one talks about that because everybody's always leaning on, they think that you're so lonely, but I think it's very interesting that we've just had this conversation that there are a lot of people who are married who are lying next to their partners night after night and they're not having sex, which to me is like, that's a whole other discussion.
Right.
But there's a lot of societal pressure for people to get married. So for the person who is drawn to single life, what advice do you give them to ignore that kind of pressure that they're always under?
Yes. Own your happiness. Tell people that who are pressuring you that you're happily single, you don't want to unsingle yourself. And when you do that, you're being true to yourself and you're making it easier for other people to also own their happy single lives. So my bottom line advice is live your single life fully, joyfully, and unapologetically.
That part, I love that. So good, Bella. First of all, on behalf of all single people, thank you so much for writing this book. This is a lovely book. I encourage everybody to read it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
And really thank you for stopping by. Again, the book is Single at Heart. Please go and get it. We'll be right back after this break.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.